The full force of the global gas crunch is about to hit home. The Biden administration has spent months attempting to avoid the negative political effects of rising petrol prices. It now has an even greater energy headache to deal with. This week, a new record high for gasoline will soon generate new waves of headlines. Generally, gas demands always increase as summer approaches and stockpiles fall. And to top it off, the national average price for a gallon of gasoline recently reached a 2-month high. However, analysts do not expect prices to reach the $5 record high set last summer. At this point, domestic gas prices will double, increasing the cost of transportation, energy, and cooking, while also raising the government's fertilizer subsidy burden. Come to think of it, what exactly must have happened this time? At the gas pump, an unusual blend of geopolitical and economic factors is now clearly visible. Due to increased demand brought on by the country's quick rebound from the global pandemic, gasoline prices increased. Russia, which produces more oil than all but 2 other nations, was then the target of a global backlash following the invasion of Ukraine. As a result, prices increased once again. Prices for natural gas, which skyrocketed last year, eventually fell this year and are suddenly about to hit an all-time high. The biggest factor affecting how much you pay for power is gas pricing. A lackluster supply expansion in 2021, combined with a swift upsurge in demand for energy from the recent lows, drove prices soaring and shocked the world economy. Domestic businesses have drastically reduced what they buy from the spot market, where prices have been out of control for months, and are already paying higher costs for LNG shipped under lengthy agreements with rates tied to crude oil. However, the most significant effects were felt in April, when the government changed the domestic price of natural gas. As a matter of fact, the cost of natural gas in the United States has more than doubled so far this year. And considering the forthcoming summer, prices may increase by another 25% or more. At this time, it is hotter than usual in the southern states, where a heat wave is causing demand and prices to rise. On the contrary, the industry is generally adding inventory for the winter months at this time of year, but supplies and storage are lower than usual. Both the manufacturing and supply of natural gas are increasing. Even if you don't use natural gas for house heating or to power your appliances, the cost of natural gas has a significant impact on the cost of electricity. Many of the power plants in America run on natural gas, and the cost of fuel accounts for the lion's share of the total operating costs for those facilities. Even states that produce coal have switched to using natural gas to generate power in recent years. On the other hand, natural gas output reached its highest level ever last year and is still strong, unlike oil production, which significantly decreased when the pandemic prevented people from driving. Late spring cold weather in some regions of the country and an extreme heat wave in others have kept consumption high throughout the spring when it typically drops, but demand has outpaced the additional supply. Additionally, the United States has overtaken other countries to become the world's largest exporter of liquefied natural gas. This placed American customers in a more competitive position with foreign consumers for the production of gas in their own country. In response to Moscow's invasion of Ukraine, the majority of these exports go to European partners that want to reduce their dependence on Russian natural gas. And as firms continue to build facilities along the Gulf Coast, the United States' export capacity is anticipated to increase even more, ensuring that the spike in demand will be sufficient to make up for increases in output. Today, the cost of gas in the U.S. has risen a bit, while those in Europe have increased significantly as a result of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. A third of Europe's gas was coming from Russia, despite the fact that the United States exports around 15% of its gas production as liquefied natural gas. U.S. prices are not closely correlated with those of the international market. The cost of LNG is nearly 4 times greater in Europe. The global pandemic also caused a dramatic decline in U.S. production, which has since resumed but has been expanding slowly. According to the most recent government monthly figures, monthly output decreased to 115.2 billion cubic feet per day in February from 118.7 billion cubic feet in December. After Saudi Arabia and other OPEC members promised to reduce barrel shipments by more than 1 million per day until the final day of the year, experts worry that gas prices may increase. According to Gas Buddy and the American Automobile Association, the average price of normal fuel in New Jersey is around $3.60 per gallon. Due to Saudi Arabia's announcement, locals might burn up their money on gas. Recently, Saudi Arabia and other OPEC oil producers unexpectedly announced additional cuts to oil production of about 1.16 million barrels per day. Analysts predicted an immediate increase in prices, and the U.S. deemed the action unwise. According to calculations by Reuters, the pledges raised the overall amount of cutbacks by OPEC, which includes Russia and other allies in addition to the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, to 3.66 million barrels per day, or 3.7% of global demand. Crude prices rose momentarily in April following a surprise agreement to reduce production, but have subsequently fallen as a result of worries about the state of the world economy and its effect on demand. Amidst worries that a worldwide financial meltdown would affect demand, oil prices last month plummeted towards $70 per barrel, the lowest level in 15 months. However, after sources discounted this possibility and crude returned near $80, it was not thought that OPEC Plus would take additional steps to bolster the market. The chairman of investment firm Pickering Energy Partners said that the most recent price cuts may raise oil prices by $10 per barrel, while oil trader PVM predicted a sharp increase once trading resumes. Saudi Arabia, a major OPEC producer, announced a reduction in output of 500,000 BPD. According to the Saudi Energy Ministry, the country's voluntary reduction was a preventative move designed to help the oil market remain stable. In October of last year, OPEC decided to reduce output by 2 million BPD from November until the end of the year. This decision revolted Washington because a limited supply raises oil prices. The United States keeps insisting that lower prices are necessary for global economic growth and to stop Russian President Vladimir Putin from increasing his income to finance the conflict in Ukraine. Following the implementation of Western price limits in February, Moscow officially announced those reductions. The voluntary reduced hours begin in May and continue till the end of the year. Iraq will decrease its production by 211,000 barrels per day, per a government announcement. The UAE declared a 144,000 barrels per day reduction in production, Kuwait a 128,000 barrels per day reduction, Oman a 40,000 BPD reduction, and Algeria a 48,000 barrels per day reduction. Kazakhstan will reduce production by 78,000 barrels per day as well. While gas prices in some areas are higher than the state average, they are significantly lower in other countries. The most expensive petrol in the state is sold in Somerset County, where a gallon costs $3.60. At $3.43 per gallon, Bergen and Warren County are tied for the lowest price for regular gasoline. Prices are often more expensive in wealthy areas and large cities. In addition to raising demand for American gas, the expansion of LNG exports has brought the domestic gas market closer to those in Europe and Asia, where prices are substantially higher. Traders are convinced that they can push up the cost of U.S. gas well over the amount most Americans regard as standard and still make a profit abroad when prices in some European countries climb higher, as they recently did. However, the longer the price of oil and natural gas remains high, utilities will continue to be positive on renewables and consider delays and cost increases as a blip in the long-term game on renewable energy sources. As for gasoline and diesel, that's an entirely different story. Both are on the rise, and all signs point to a continuous increase in price. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you click the like and subscribe buttons. Most importantly, don't forget to click the bell icon to be notified when a new video is uploaded. Also, feel free to leave a remark if you have any recommendations for videos. From No Cap Capitalists, have a great day everyone, and thanks once again.